So the Nvidia RTX 4000, I know you're not buying a GPU now because you're going to be waiting for that to come out. Smart. You're playing it pretty good, even though prices are historically within the last 2 years at some of the lowest points that we've seen them, and stores literally can't seem to sell any of the most popular GPUs. But still, you're going to wait because RTX 4000 is coming, right? And that's true. We're seeing rumors that one of the GPUs, the first one, is going to be coming out within the next few months. Sometimes they say as early as July. Sometimes they'll say August, maybe September. But I'm going to tell you why you don't want the first RTX 4000 GPU that comes out. I think you are going to want to wait maybe another month or two because they're not going to release them all at once. Let's address the first one that's likely coming out. That's going to be the RTX 4090. Now, nobody generally wants the 4090 if you're looking at a price to performance GPU. Most of the time, maybe something like the 4080 may fill in that void a little bit better. So today's video is brought to you by Ridge Wallet. Probably going to be carrying around something like this. Even after buying your RTX 3000 GPU, it's still a pretty thick wallet. Look at the size difference. Much thinner. Not to mention, it looks really cool. Take a look at this. You even get a little screwdriver, a little money clip, and you can see when you have your card inside, it fans out and opens up really easily, almost like a deck of cards. Now, they recommend you put the most used cards right on the front, so that way you see there's a little indentation, a little opening here. Push the card out and it comes right out. Then of course you do have a nice little money clip here as well. This is going to make a great gift for Father's Day. It's going to block all wonky signals, so your credit card information is going to be safe. Build quality is actually really high. At the end of the day, it's so different than a typical wallet that it's just a very refreshing gift. And they also sent me this really awesome bolt action pen, and listen to that mechanical bolt action. I just love that. Show up with something like this for Father's Day, and it's going to be a really nice differentiating factor. So remember to check out Ridge Wallet. I'm going to leave the links down below, and let's get back to the video. 4090 is going to be for the person who just wants the best, irregardless of the price, and it's certainly probably going to be pretty expensive. If the 3090 Ti with 450 watt TDP is any indication of the similarly spec'd 450 watt TDP 4090, I would guess it's probably going to come in at $1999. That's definitely $500 more than the original 3090, which was already pretty expensive. So you can see that even if it does have a tremendous amount of performance, the spec wise it's only similar to a 3090 Ti, probably with the power numbers. Of course it's going to perform better than a 3090 Ti, at least we hope so, but still it's not going to be worth it for most people. So most people are certainly going to want to wait. First of all, the more that you wait, the more that RTX 3000 prices go down. You may even want to pick up an RTX 3090 when the 4000 series comes out at a relative bargain. I know it's not the newest one, but if you can get it really cheaply, it's still going to perform tremendously good. But if you have your mindset on an RTX 4000, if you want to be on the newest generation, after the 4090 comes out, they're saying with all the rumors that we'll likely see a 4080, much like we saw with RTX 3000. We have a staggered launch, meaning we didn't see every single product during the first day. They would launch the 3080 and then the 3090. So we're going to see similarly, but this time, most likely, it looks like we may start with the 4090. Now, the 4080 is going to be interesting. The 3080 was definitely a fantastic bang for your buck this generation. At $699, when you could find it, which was almost never, certainly presented a pretty good value. Are they going to keep $699 for the 4080? I don't think so, considering that the updated 3080 with 12 GBs of VRAM went all the way up to over $1,000. So I would think the 4080, if they're going to be competitive with their previous generation, most likely may start off around $999 or more, and not the initial paltry $699 that the 3080 started at. Keep in mind that even with a 4080 releasing, we're going to have a lot of 3000 series GPUs on the market, especially now that the market is really soft and a lot of people are getting rid of their GPUs. You're going to see a tremendous amount available. So that's certainly going to present pretty big challenge for Nvidia as well as retailers, but it's going to make it easier on the buyer because you're going to have more variety than we did when the original RTX 3000 came out. And if you don't want to wait and see about the 4080, if it's going to be performing well enough for your gaming dollar, you may want to wait for the 4070, which supposedly, with what we know right now, it's going to be the last one released of the initial batch, so it's going to be probably number 3. 4070 traditionally should fill in that sort of price to performance ratio very well. Once again, I'm not too sure if it's going to come in at $499 like the 3070 did. We could definitely see it come in a little bit more expensive, maybe closer to the level of a 3070 Ti. And the question is, how good will a performance of an RTX 4070 be? Well, last generation, the 3070 went toe-to-toe with the top-end 2080 Ti, but this generation we have a 3090 and a 3090 Ti. I don't think the 4070, most likely and traditional rasterization, will perform as well as even a 3090. It may be close. I think it might be closer, in fact, to maybe a 3080 or 3080 Ti level, which a 3080 Ti is pretty close already to a 3090, aside from a few points here or there. The only area where I think the 4070 may definitely have a lot more significant gains, that's going to be when you're using Nvidia technologies and maybe ray tracing, DLSS, things like that. We could see better technology in the 4070 translate to a bigger performance gain rather than traditional rasterization. So that's going to be definitely something to keep in mind. And remember, all of these GPUs will have significantly more power consumption than we're used to this current generation. Recent rumors have even pointed to the RTX 4060, which is probably going to come down along the line. That one should have power consumption, if we're to believe them, maybe closer to something like an RTX 3080. So that's a huge jump in what we assume to be performance, but also in power draw. Of course, the 4070 and 4080 also more power draw. And of course, the 4090 likely is going to be around 450 watts, which, even though it's equal to the 3090 Ti, it's about 100 watts more than the original 3090, which makes you wonder, a 4090 Ti, is that going to be a 600 watt GPU? But anyway, 4060 might have power draw close to a 3080. That's going to be problematic for some people because you're going to have to upgrade your power supply for what traditionally is a 60 class GPU. It shouldn't really take that much power, but I guess we'll be able to forgive it if the price is right, if it's available, and if the performance certainly trounces on the last generation 3060. But anyway, much like last time, I think we're going to see the big high-end GPUs first, starting with the RTX 4090, and then we'll go down the line to the 4080 and 4070. So maybe you might want to actually wait and see until the lineup is fully fleshed out before buying the first one that you see. We don't know yet if the RTX 4000 generation is going to be as difficult as it was to get the 3000 series now. If it were as difficult and if prices were to go up maybe next year after their release, that's when it would make sense for you to hop on quick and get a GPU if you're going to upgrade anyway to RTX 4000. But we don't know if the same story is going to play out as it did with RTX 3000. In that case, it may make sense for you to actually wait, because not only are you going to be able to see the full lineup of RTX 4000 before you make your decision and what games will definitely take advantage of that more powerful hardware, you may also, like I said before, you may be tempted by an RTX 3000 series GPU at a significant discount, and it's still probably going to perform pretty well in most titles that you can play today. Alright guys, so let me know what you think. Are you going to wait not only for RTX 4000, but maybe for the 4080 and 4070 to come out? After all, the 4090 is pretty cool, but most people are not going to want to spend that type of money, especially with the GPU market having massive changes as we speak. Remember to subscribe, smash that like button, and I'll see you guys on the next video.